This is the Pigskin Daily History Dispatch, a podcast that covers the anniversaries of American football events throughout history. Your host, Darren Hayes, is podcasting from America's North Shore to bring you the memories of the gridiron, one day at a time.
Hello, my football friends. This is Darren Hayes of PigskinDispatch.com. Welcome once again to the Pig Pen, your portal to positive football history. In this episode, we're going to go back to sort of our old time things we did a few years ago. We're going to have a solo episode here, just talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of football. The season is getting ready to start. We have training camps breaking open here as we hit the end of July, and things are really becoming quite exciting. But I had a couple stories that I came across recently that I found really kind of interesting. One of them was one that a coworker shared with me that's sort of going around social media. Maybe some of you have seen it. And it talks about the first Auburn home game where they played Georgia Tech in 1896. And apparently, the Auburn fans were very excited about this game, but maybe also a little bit worried, and had a strategy to help their team win and defeat this Georgia Tech team that was coming in to play their team. So everybody traveled by rail at that time. So these Auburn students went and they greased the rails before the station for the arrival of Georgia Tech, where they were going to get off, and long past it. So when the brakes were hit by the locomotive, they, of course, did not stop right away, and this greased track sent the train 5 miles down from where they were supposed to have their stop at. And trains aren't known for, with many cars, to back up and go in reverse and back up 5 miles. So these Georgia Tech players had to get out with their gear and hoof 5 miles to get back to where the game is going to be played at Auburn's home field at that time. And they're pooped. It's the hot South, as you can imagine, and they're pooped that to all get out. And Auburn ends up winning that game, and it's going down in history some 130 years later as one of the great pranks in football history. So wanted to share that with you. And the other story is maybe something that's a little bit interesting. That this week, as a Steelers fan, I'm getting all the Steelers news coming in, as everybody is. But there's been some uniform changes. Everybody in the NFL is sort of revealing the last couple of weeks what their throwback uniform is going to be. This is great marketing strategy, by the way, for the jersey salespeople, fanatics, or whoever's selling the jerseys for them, to get this out there so people want to get that jersey before the game where they're actually wearing it, so they can sit at home in their living room or be at the stadium dressed like the players are on the field. Well, the Steelers revealed one going all the way back to their original season in 1933, where they had the city of Pittsburgh's emblem, which is sort of a castle-like structure. And the original one had it dead center right in the chest on top of some black friction stripes. Timothy P. Brown of footballarchaeology.com has talked about the friction stripes. Well, the Steelers, who were actually called the Pittsburgh Pirates their first half dozen to 8 years in the NFL, they had the friction stripes, vertical, 3 or 4 vertical big black stripes on sort of a tannish gold uniform, and some couple friction stripes on the sleeves, and this big emblem of the city of Pittsburgh seal in the middle of it. And that was their original uniform. Well, the Steelers are going to be wearing slightly altered version of that. They can't have the emblem front and center because they have to have a number there by NFL rules. So it's off, to one side, I believe. I believe it's on the left side of their chest. And they have their player number over top of the replicated stripes for the friction stripes. And people are sort of up in arms about this. Why could they do this? Why are they breaking tradition and blah, blah, blah? A little bit of change on that. It's reminiscent of the Bumblebee uniforms you can think of back probably about 10 years ago that they wore in the Roethlisberger era. And, the stripes going horizontally, the black and gold, the Bumblebees. And that was like a 1934 version, a year after these ones I'm telling you about that the Steelers will be wearing this year. So interesting facet. And of course, Green Bay Packers having maybe sounds like the hand painted helmets that look like leather helmets, very similar looking to the images I saw to what Illinois wore last year in the Michigan game to celebrate Red Grange's big game against Michigan in 1924, the 100th year anniversary of that. And it's a big year for the Packers wearing it this year. And as a matter of fact, the Steelers will be wearing their throwback uniforms against the Packers. I'm not sure if the Packers will be wearing their throwbacks that day too, but that'd be kind of cool if they have those leather helmet looking things and the Steelers are wearing their 1933 replicated uniforms. So just some interesting things to look forward to as the excitement builds for the National Football League season, the college season, and your local high school teams. These kids are getting ready to hit the ground running and hit their practices. And I'm not sure if they still do 2-a-days or not. I know the NFL doesn't anymore, but they're getting ready, going to camps and things like that to get ready for the football season. And we as fans are ready for the football season as well, because what a happy time of year that is, especially before the opening weeks and this month of August, just enjoying the news. Everybody's got high hopes, everybody's 0-0, and just the excitement in the air. Great pageantry and sports and fellowship to enjoy with your fellow fans, and have some great heated discussions with your adversaries of other teams. So enjoy this preseason of football, take it all in, and relish it, because after a few weeks, so there's going to be some that are still going to be on that all-time high, and there's others that are going to be on an all-time low once they suffer a loss or two and things aren't going so well for the season. That's the way sports goes. That's the way football goes. And but so relish this time where everybody's happy. That's a happy time for football, and I think it's something we should really relish. So think about that and enjoy the history. And we got some great things coming up for you next week, including we have another author that's going to come and talk about his book on some sports history and some great football facets and sharing some great stories from there. We're also going to get with Thomas Hall again from gridironintelligence.com, talk about another aspect of his great site and some of the sports analytics that we'll get out of that site this year. If you haven't taken that offer yet, please do that real soon. And of course, we have our friend Timothy P. Brown of footballarchaeology.com talking about another one of his tidbits to teach us some more about football history, as well as all of our things we have going on at Pigskin Dispatch with our jersey numbers, our college football Hall of Famers, our pro football Hall of Famer celebrations, our daily celebration of football. And if you forgot that we do that, check out our posts on this Gridiron Day on our Pigskin Dispatch posts on Facebook and X and on LinkedIn. And you'll see some of those things. On LinkedIn, we're under my name, Darren Hayes. You can join us there. And we touched the base on some of the great aspects of football history for each day that we're in. And it's really a great thing to relish and remember and celebrate. So celebrate football in this preseason and have a great Gridiron Day. That's all the football history we have today, folks. Join us back tomorrow for more of your football history. We invite you to check out our website, pigskindispatch.com, not only to see the daily football history, but to experience positive football with our many articles on the good people of the game, as well as our own football comic strip, Cleat Marks Comics. Pigskindispatch.com is also on social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget the Pigskin Dispatch YouTube channel to get all of your positive football news and history. Special thanks to the talents of Mike and Gene Monroe, as well as Jason Neff for letting us use their music during our podcast.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.